This video was brought to you by Elgato Gaming. If you want to step up your production quality, be it capture card, lighting, a professional face cam, or a stream deck to control your streams, then check out the link in the description. I can't believe I'm saying this, but after nearly 2 years since the release of Black Ops 4 Zombies, an alternate ending for Blood of the Dead has just been found. This is not a joke, this is not a clickbait, this is genuinely real. And I am pretty shocked that this has only just been discovered. So if you're just excited about this as I am, let me know your thoughts as you watch this video in the comments and be sure to leave a like rating. Now, sadly, this doesn't mean that there is a new cutscene, but what we do have is alternative audio from the ending cutscene, which shows that it was going to play out very differently. Now, I don't want to waste too much of your time before jumping into the alternate ending, but I do need to give you a little bit of context as to how this happened and what specifically is different about it. Now, I need you to stick with me here as the next few minutes are incredibly important, as I'm going to show you the alternative ending, but before I do, I need to explain where this has come from. And this is all thanks to a fellow Russian YouTuber called Eldar Romanov, who discovered that in the Russian version of Black Ops 4, there is a completely different ending from Richtofen's side and what he says in the Dark Mechanism compared to what we actually got. From the way it seems to me, Treyarch planned two different ending styles for Blood of the Dead. We obviously got the one we got in game now, but for some reason, the other ending was left over in the Russian version of the game. And the alternate ending is frankly quite shocking in my opinion. So what I'm going to show you now is that alternate ending thanks to Eldar Romanov. What he's done is he's taken that alternate ending audio, synced it up to the cutscene at the exact points that Richtofen would say this stuff, and he's translated it all into English subtitles for us. But it is super important that you stay watching after we get through the ending cutscene, because I'll be going in depth to explain what this ending could have done to the storyline and explaining why exactly it's so shocking.
I wish I could tell you I was sorry, Edward, but I'm not. No! No, you can help me! You're a doctor!
Я видел много чудес и катастроф! Рождение и гибель миров! Седлал гигантов! Покорял тени! Прошел путь, недоступный другим! Только я знаю путь к спасению! Если хочешь снова стать глупым малышом, что носится по дому туда-сюда! Я хочу быть собой. Этим собой! Тем, кто сделал всю работу! Майн год, вот оно! Меня зовут доктор Эдвард Рихтофен, и я из последних сил стараюсь сделать как лучше. И знаете, кого мне жаль? Себя. Я хотел идти дальше. Этот я. Я поступал плохо. Очень плохо. Измерение 2210. Я был просто дитя и умер один. Говорят, оставаться всегда тяжелее. Вы должны идти, должны выживать. Вы прокляты.
Wow, that is a bit of a bombshell, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? And a lot of really deep things that Richtofen says during this, which obviously he doesn't say in the normal ending. So let's dive into exactly what's different. Starting off when Great War Richtofen walks towards the portals and smashes the blood vials, Richtofen mentions that only he knows the path to salvation, and then makes a really weird remark saying, unless if you want to become a stupid child that's running around in the house once again, as if to insinuate, hey, without my help, you guys are just going to end up as children again running around in a house. Which obviously, given the context of Great War Richtofen being in Alcatraz, that simply won't happen anymore because Great War Richtofen broke that cycle. It just shows that this Richtofen, although has made the ultimate sacrifice, is basically pleading with the crew that without him, they're just going to end up as children again. And I don't think any characters have ever remarked about them becoming children again or even being aware of that, at least verbally anyway. Now, what is crazy is when they are leaving in the portals and Richtofen has a completely different set of quotes here where he's reciting his memories trailer saying,
My name is Edward Richtofen, and I have been trying so very hard to do the right thing.
He even recites even more from that, saying that
I have done bad things. Very bad things.
And one of Richtofen's biggest secrets, which he's kept from the crew and only vaguely mentioned in Alpha Omega, is about killing his child self in Dimension 2210. In his final words, he was going to reveal to everyone what exactly happened in that dimension. We know between the events of Origins and the Giant, Richtofen went on his own 3-year journey to gather the Chronorium, but during that time he went to Dimension 2210 and killed his innocent child self so he could secure his innocent soul and give himself a better tomorrow. Here is compared to the other characters, when their souls are taken to the house, they are adults who were then restored as children. The difference here is Richtofen's soul was always a child, and there is a really important reason why this is the case, and also why this story is so sad. So if you don't already realize, there is a moment where every single time a soul enters the house, Monty restores the innocence of that soul, which is what turns them into children. Early on in the storyline, when Samantha first arrives at the house after Argatha, she's reunited with her father Maxis in his Dimension 63 form. Knowing that Samantha is corrupted by the Dark Ether due to the events of Moon and also how we're here in Origins, Monty takes her away from Maxis and the house, and that's how we see the transformation of Samantha from a German girl in a dress to an American girl in pajamas. This restoration of innocence is what transforms Samantha to how we see her within Black Ops 3 and 4. The same innocence had to be restored for all the other souls because they were once troubled Ultimus versions restored as children. But Richtofen's was always a child, and the sad reality as to why this is the case is because Edward Richtofen never had a proper childhood. So the one thing that he'd want to give himself as a reborn child version of himself is to live a full happy life, completely free from all of the Element 115 corruption and the darkness that he'll eventually experience in his adult life. But it goes way further back than that, because the Richtofen we play as in Primus and Ultimus versions shared the same unfortunate childhood, as on July 17th, 1898, Richtofen's parents died. So he had to grow up in a world without a mother or fatherly figure, and Monty references this in Revelations. So given this tragedy has followed him throughout his entire life, being faced by a child version of yourself and having to sacrifice him is one of the only things that Richtofen has done which he physically cannot talk about because it upsets him too much. Which is why it hits even harder during this new alternate ending audio that his child version died alone. No one was there to witness or care about his death, which is really sad. And with the tragedy of his parents and his upbringing, that is going to affect who you are as a person as you grow up. So no wonder Ultimus Richtofen is so insane. No wonder Primus Richtofen is so emotional. And I'm not surprised that he didn't want to talk about this situation to his fellow comrades during Alpha Omega, which I'll play for you right now.
Richtofen has already made bigger sacrifices than you realized, MC. Much bigger.
Whatever he sacrificed, it wasn't enough. He should be burning in hell.
If you really want to see pain in Richtofen's eyes, ask him about Dimension 2210.
Yeah, about that whole soul hole. How come I don't feel any different without it?
What it feels like to have lost your soul, especially at a young age, is a tragedy I do not particularly want to recount.
Your soul. Well, there's a question. You said you collected it at Doris, but you lied. You bagged your soul way before I did.
Like I said, Dempsey, let's not dwell on the past. It's all blood under the bridge.
Furthermore, Richtofen realizes that sometimes it's harder to stay, but he has to go in order for the rest of the crew to survive. He understands this, but he doesn't want this to happen. And the last line is haunting, saying, "You are cursed," which gave me some very heavy Shadow Man vibes. After all this madness and all the many versions of the cycle they've gone through, it is him that's perpetuating it to continue without him making a serious sacrifice like he is now, where he's sort of proving to himself in his final moments that yes, he is indeed cursed, and that no matter what, he will always perpetuate this madness, so he has to take himself out the equation, which I think is a very difficult decision to make with yourself and be at peace with yourself. It seems with this ending, Richtofen was not at peace at all with his decision, whilst in the original, he wasn't to begin with, but realized later on, the Chronorium predicted it, and this is how it has to be. And I think if his final words were to be, "You are cursed," it would really hit home how much the Shadow Man has impacted Richtofen's entire life. We have quotes from Revelations about how Richtofen was more than just an apprentice to the Shadow Man. The Ultimus Richtofen was so badly affected by the Shadow Man that literally almost all of Richtofen's existence has been controlled by the influence of the Shadow Man. I'd almost go to say that I think this ending would have been a better ending audio-wise to have than what we got, because it sounds a lot more like the Richtofen from the entire journey of Black Ops 3. It was very interesting to see a version of Richtofen in Blood of the Dead that seemed to not have a clue what the next plan is or the next step compared to the confidence that was in Black Ops 3. Hearing Edward Richtofen's Memories trailer word for word in the ending would have helped come full circle with that, put a bit of context onto when exactly that Memories trailer could have taken place in Richtofen's life, and made the ending even more sad than it already is. But what an absolutely incredible find and insight into an alternate ending we could have gotten for Blood of the Dead. Big thank you to Elder Romanov for discovering this. You can check out his channel, link below. Go drop him a subscribe and give him a thank you in the comment section on his video. But for the latest, be sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.